Hello everybody, welcome to Wednesdays with Will. Y'all may have noticed that we are in the process of converting all our lighting to LED lighting to save electricity. Well, today I'm going to show you how we convert a fluorescent fixture to an LED fixture. So first we started, you notice I turned off the power, so it's safe to work on. We're going to open up the fixture and this exposes the lights. We're in the Christian Life Center, we're in the day school area, and these are 3 tube fixtures. And so we're going to take all 3 of the lights out to get those out of the way. These lights were already at the end of their life. The lights here in the day school area were in need of changing, so it's a perfect time to convert because it reduces our payback time. So the first thing we got to do, we're going to put this warning label on here so that the person who comes along after me to change lights will know that these aren't fluorescent lights anymore. Because I don't know what happens if you put a fluorescent light. I know what doesn't happen is they won't burn. So, but then we need a label because the LED lights are directional. And so we're going to label the neutral end, and then we're going to label the line end so we can be sure and put the lights in the correct direction. If you don't, they just don't burn. Somehow alternating current has a direction, and so we got to pay attention to that. So now, because these are dual switched, that means one switch brings on the center tube and another switch brings on the outside tubes. We've got to be careful and hook up our hot wires going the same direction. So we're going to start by hooking up our hot wires, and so we want to find the wire. This black-white wire comes off this ballast, so it's hooked to the red wire. So we're going to clip these red wires here off this ballast. My wire cutters have a little notch in them because one time I did forget to turn off the electricity, and so that spark will run a pair of wire cutters. And so we're going to take off the hot wire that goes to the ballast and hook the wires that go to the tombstones directly to the hot wire coming in here. And so that was done. Now we'll do the same thing for the other ballast, except it'll go to the black wire that comes in here. So we'll get those. Now, in terms of the utility savings, this is in a newer building, and so the savings aren't as great as they are in the other building. In these fixtures, we'll save a little over 50% on electricity usage compared to the fluorescent setup here. And so, you know, that's pretty good. Now we're hooking up the neutral side. And you could just clip all 6 of these wires and hook them to one neutral, but you know, that gives you 7 wires you're trying to get hooked together. So since I already got 2 neutral wires coming down this way, I'm gonna go ahead and use them, and that splits up the wiring a little bit, makes it a little easier to get them tied up. So like I say, in these fixtures, we'll save a little over 50%. In the older build, in the sanctuary center, those are T8 or T12 lights, and so we actually save nearly, you know, around 70% on our electric usage when we convert those. And so what we've done is we've gone through and converted all the major, you know, the fellowship hall, the great hall, and the hallways, and then all the offices, trying to get all the areas that use the lights the most, you know, because that will save us a lot more money more quickly because those lights are on so much. There's a lot of lights in this building, or as lights burn out. we're not putting fluorescent lights back in fixtures. So if the lights get to where there's a lot burned out in one of the rooms, we're changing that room out and convert it to LEDs so that we, you know, eventually we'll get through the whole building and it will all be LEDs. Because right now, you know, if I can do that when I'm changing out a fixture, to buy fluorescent tubes, they cost about $4 a bulb. Well, these LEDs cost about $8 a bulb. So if I was already going to buy a fluorescent tube, it really only cost me $4 for the changeover instead of $8, because I would have already spent the $4 just to change out the fluorescent tube. So now we've got the ballast out, we've got all our wiring hooked up, and we've got to put the cover back on. Now, sometimes it's like trying to push a wet noodle uphill, and other times they just flop back in there and get right. I got lucky this time. Must have known I was videoing, and they went right back in. So now let me set these down over here, and we'll put the new lights in. So like I was saying earlier, these are directional, so they're labeled on here with an L and an N, and so I'll need to make sure I get those at the right end. This is sometimes harder than you think it should be to get these to go up in here right. I got this in the butt. I think I jinxed myself. And so, you know, we're working on a lot of projects trying to save electricity. As y'all know, we upgraded our air conditioning in the sanctuary because we had to, because it went out. But we tried to go with a more efficient system. And we're always looking for opportunities to save some money as we do stuff. You know, any area that we renovate, we automatically switch to LEDs, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have most all of the lights. There might be a closet here or there that we don't have done yet, but we'll definitely have all the areas that get used switch to LEDs. This one over here on this side is always the hardest one to get in. And so, but we'll get it. Then we're ready to close it up. We'll go turn it on, see if it works. As you can see, there's the center light and the two side lights. With the dual switching, that gives us 3 levels of lighting in the room. We can have 1 light on, 2 lights on, or 3 lights on. And it also saves electricity if you don't need all the lights burning. So there you have it. That's how we convert a fluorescent fixture into LED, save some money, and actually it brightens up the room a little bit. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Goodbye. Goodbye.